Okay. Good afternoon. Thank you all for your time and thank you all for the great job that you've been doing to ensure that peace is a reality in your communities, to ensure that people understand your roles and your responsibilities in building solid blocks of peace, to make people understand that you don't need to involve maybe government entities when there are little things that you can do back at home, at your places of work, and decisive corners to make peace a reality. It's a great privilege to serve you this afternoon for an hour as this counts for the celebration of Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, seeing 10 years of activism in Cameroon. So today you're focusing on 10 years of anti-war activism and peace building. Permit me to present the speakers we're going to be having today. Speaker number one, Natalie Wakam Foko, who is the president of Women's International League for Peace and Freedom Cameroon, is a jurist and activist committed to defending the rights of women and children. She advocates on issues relating to women, peace, and security in Cameroon, and within the framework of UN human rights mechanisms. An avid traveler, she enjoys being in contact with people from different cultures in order to live new experiences and discover the richness of the world's diversity. We'll also be having David Swanson, who is a co-founder and executive director and a board member of World Beyond War. He is based in Virginia in the United States, and David is an author, activist, journalist, and radio host. He is a campaign coordinator for rootsaction.org. Swanson's books include War is a Lie. He blogs at davidswanson.org and warisacrime.org. He also hosts Talk Walk Radio. He is a Nobel Peace Prize nominee and was awarded the 2018 Peace Prize by the U.S. Peace Memorial Foundation. Longer bio and photos and videos you will find. Follow him on Twitter at David CN Swanson and Facebook sample videos. Sylvie Jacqueline Dongmo, the founder of Women's International League for Peace and Freedom Cameroon, is a long-time human rights and peace leader with 28 years experience and the strong passion for promoting equality and inclusion in Africa and in the world at large. On the 24th of July 2022, Sylvie was elected Wales international president for a 3-year mandate, first ever Cameroonian after a Nigerian leader, making it the second African, Bert, a first Cameroonian. As a teacher by profession and an AU trainer in peace support operations, she has extensive experience advocating for the political and social rights of women in Africa and experience advocating for the political and social rights of women in Africa and worldwide. She has an impressive track record on development projects to improve policies, practices, and peace-oriented actions. Minutes ago on my show, I was letting the listeners understand much work she did for the Littoral region in Cameroon about 8 years ago, making sure that hundreds of children without birth certificates could have that document, because you cannot be just trained around without having a document that identifies you as a citizen from Cameroon. Tove Ivegard is the head of international cooperation at WILPF Sweden. She started working for WILPF Sweden 12 years ago after her peace and conflict studies at Uppsala University. Tove is also a member of the Swedish Women's Mediation Network and part of Sweden's working group on women, peace, and security. She has worked together with WILPF Cameroon since the section was founded in 2014. Guy Fergap, who moments ago gave us translations in French, is the Africa organizer of World Beyond War. He is a teacher, writer, and peace activist based in Cameroon. His overall job is to educate youth for peace and nonviolence. His work puts young girls in particular at the heart of crisis resolution, awareness raising on several issues in their communities. He joined with Cameroon when it was established in 2014 and founded the Cameroon chapter of World Beyond War in 2020. So we have fabulous speakers, ladies and gentlemen. If we did not come with our ears, let's go back and borrow our ears, because there's food for the mind, for the soul, and the heart that will get us working seriously when we are out of this webinar. I will begin with the first, who is Guy. I don't know if you have to translate this, Guy, before you take your question for 4 minutes, or we're just going to delve direct. Either ways, I'd invite you directly because you are the first to talk, and you have to attempt the question, why organize a joint WBW with Cameroon webinar? What is the link apart from both organizations being 10 years old, Guy? Hello?
You'll need to unmute.
Hello, Guy, are you there? Est-ce que tu m'entends, Guy? Bonsoir.
Can you hear me, Guy? Good afternoon. Okay, welcome. So, going by the program and the agenda, we were going to explain what's the link between WILPF Cameroon and WBW. What is the link apart from both organizations being 10 years old? Well, I am the African organizer for World Beyond War, but before assuming this position, I am a member of WILPF Cameroon, and since the early days of WILPF Cameroon in Cameroon, I was part of its members. So, working with the women, taking action to defend the rights of women, I have worked to mobilize more men to act for peace and also to raise men awareness to work to promote the women peace and security agenda. I am also the African organizer of World Beyond War, because 4 years ago I attended an online training workshop organized by World Beyond War. I understood what they've been doing to act against the world worldwide, and that allowed me to open a chapter for WBW in Cameroon, and we've covered some ground. We currently have 10 ongoing chapters and 10 others are currently created. Many people in Africa are committing to sign the World Beyond War Peace Declaration, and organizations are buying in and working to commit to reach a world without war. We have been working to construct peace and to involve several stakeholders to put an end to wars. That's therefore the motivation of this event, to come up with a framework and a platform to see how World Beyond War and WILPF Cameroon, two organizations which were created in 2014 in Cameroon, can work and discuss how they can take steps to eradicate war in the world. It is also to see and explain how these organizations have challenged the odds to exist across these 10 years in a war which is struck by several wars. We can see over the media, some countries are exercising their hegemony through the trade of weapons and the manufacturing of dangerous weapons. These weapons contribute in increasing the insecurity in our world. Therefore, the objective of the peace declaration, which was started by World Beyond War to end war in the world, it was therefore important to connect these two organizations, as they've been working to fight against war in Africa and promote peace and cohesion. That was therefore the rationale for organizing these events. With your authorization, we are going to see how World Beyond War have started working across the past decade. And Greta is going to tell us and is going to play the video, the anniversary video for the 10-year anniversary of World Beyond War. She's going to play that right now.
That was presented to us by Greta with regards to the work done by World Beyond War in the last 10 years.
January 1st, 2024 marks the 10th anniversary of World Beyond War, a global nonviolent movement to end all wars. World Beyond War was founded on January 1st, 2014, when co-founders David Hartsoe and David Swanson set out to create a global movement to abolish the institution of war itself, not just the war of the day. Since our founding, tens of thousands of people and over 800 organizations in 194 countries have signed World Beyond War's Declaration of Peace, pledging to work for a just and sustainable peace. Our work debunks the myths that war is inevitable, just, necessary, or beneficial. We work locally and globally, using education, media, and nonviolent activism to move the world away from wars, militarism, and violence and towards peace. Key to World Beyond War's work is the holistic opposition to the institution of war at large, not only all current wars and violent conflicts, but the industry of war itself, the ongoing preparations for war that feed the profitability of the system. This abolitionist approach sets World Beyond War apart from many other organizations. We engage in formal education as well as every variety of informal and participatory education interwoven in our media and activism work. Our seminal book, A Global Security System, An Alternative to War, the AGSS, provides a blueprint for ending war, one that is rooted in the strategies of demilitarizing security, managing conflict non-violently, and creating a culture of peace. The AGSS and its accompanying study, War No More, Discussion and Action Guide, received the 2018-2019 Educators Challenge Award by the Global Challenges Foundation. World Beyond War is also the recipient of the 2020 George F. Regas Courageous Peacemaker Award and the 2021 U.S. Peace Prize by the U.S. Peace Memorial Foundation. We have taught more than 15 online courses, graduating over 1,300 alumni, including War Abolition 101 and 201, War in the Environment, Leaving World War II Behind, Organizing 101, and more. In partnership with Rotary Action Group for Peace, we spearheaded the Peace Education and Action for Impact program, a peace-building and leadership program that has supported over 20 youth-led peace projects in 19 countries. And since 2016, World Beyond War has hosted our popular annual No War Conference, creating a space that brings together hundreds of participants from dozens of countries to learn, network, strategize, and organize towards the abolition of war. At World Beyond War, we make use of all variety of media and communications, creating video, audio, text, and graphic media, and interacting with media outlets large and small, including by monitoring and criticizing the pro-war media to which we strive to provide a counterweight. We are known for our webinars and have provided webinar hosting and technical assistance to many grassroots groups around the world. Our webinars and videos have over 300,000 views and counting. And thousands of listeners have tuned in to the World Beyond War monthly podcast, which features the voices and personal stories of anti-war activists around the world. In the past 10 years, we have put up dozens of pro-peace, anti-war billboards all over the world, including the US, Canada, Germany, Ireland, and Montenegro. One of our most frequent messages being that just 3% of US military spending could end starvation on Earth. World Beyond War is also known for our original research and extensive resources. In particular, our research on the impact of U.S. foreign military bases was published by the Quincy Institute and has been referenced as the preeminent source on the topic. To present this data in a digestible format, we launched a one-of-a-kind interactive online tool that illustrates the extent of the U.S. military base empire, mapping out more than 800 bases worldwide. We also host a one-of-a-kind searchable resources database with over 1,000 entries that collates both original resources and materials from partner organizations, such as books, fact sheets, infographics, films, and more. And we curate the Mapping Militarism project, which maps out where wars are, where troops are stationed, where weapons are located around the world. Complementing our education and media work, World Beyond War's nonviolent activism functions through a decentralized, distributed grassroots organizing model focused on building power at the local level. We currently coordinate 28 chapters in 17 countries and maintain partnerships with nearly 100 affiliates around the world. From taking action to block the arms trade to promoting a global nuclear ban, from campaigning in solidarity with communities in active war zones to amplifying calls for decolonization, World Beyond War's organizing work takes many forms around the globe. World Beyond War staff provides tools, trainings, and resources to empower our chapters and affiliates to organize in their own communities based on what campaigns resonate most with their members, while at the same time organizing towards the long-term goal of war abolition. Together with our chapters and allies, World Beyond War has passed resolutions, divested cities from weapons, demilitarized municipal police forces, mobilized unarmed civilian protection teams in war zones, blocked weapons shipments, blockaded arms fairs, mobilized massive international weeks of action, and much more. Our high-profile, nonviolent direct actions shine a light on the governments and corporations complicit in the war machine and have made international media headlines. And through our organizing training and resources, we have mobilized other activists worldwide to go out and do the same. We invite you to join the movement for war abolition. Follow us at World Beyond War on all major social media platforms and learn more at WorldBeyondWar.org.
Isn't this lovely? It's such an enriching art. Oh my God, you're doing the right thing. Let's just put the hands together for World Beyond War. It's amazing. It's inspiring. It's motivating. It's encouraging. And at the same time, you connect with the energy and want to do more. Congratulations to the team. Bonjour à toi qui nous rejoindra depuis le
Good
Togo.
morning to to you connecting from Togo. Good morning to Eva following us from Yaoundé. Good morning to Elvis Shimba writing from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I remember last time I was in Cameroon, I was speaking from STV in STV.
Greetings to you, Pushpa Motiani, joining us from South Asia. Namaste. Glad to have you all. After watching that beautiful, mind-blowing, and heartbreaking video showing us the hard work done by the team of World Beyond War, and having you put your hands together for them, because it's really heartwarming to know that exciting people, fabulous people are doing extraordinary strikes at the expense of their lives out of ordinary means to make it a green world, to make it a beautiful world, to make it a world free of conflict, free of war. I'd invite David, our next speaker. David is a co-founder and executive director and a board member of World Beyond War. Oh my God, that's a great job you're doing. He is based in Virginia in the United States of America. He is an author, an activist, a journalist, and a radio host. He is campaign coordinator for rootsaction.org. I think we welcome him with our hands together, right? Because just from the videos, we can tell he's doing a wonderful job. Good afternoon, David. It's a privilege to connect with you via this webinar. Why and how did you start World Beyond War? And what are you most proud of after 10 years of existence?
Good morning, Amy. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. We got a bunch of wonderful people together, including David Hartso, who had great ideas and a great organization to build from. And we decided to make something that would be global, that wouldn't be on one continent or in one country. If everybody could mute, that would be great. And to make something that would be abolitionist, that would seek to abolish all war and all preparations for war, not just oppose this war or that war and support other wars, and that would promote a vision of a better world, that would explain to people who can't think it through what the world would look like without war, what structures of government and society and economics and education we would have without war. And we sought to do this through education and through nonviolent activism, and increasingly through media and communications. We have been growing at an increasing rate for 10 years, which is wonderful. So now we're hiring organizers like Guy in Africa and others on other continents around the world. We jumped last year from 22 active chapters to 32 and more already this year. So we are growing ever more rapidly, which is very, very good. People have signed the Declaration of Peace now in 198 countries. And I believe there are at least 10 countries just in Africa where not a single person has signed it. So we should easily be able to get to 200 countries where at least one person, if not tens of thousands of people, have signed the Declaration of Peace and gotten involved and started working on ending war. We've educated many people. We've nudged many organizations toward working and thinking and speaking and using the language of total abolition of war. We've passed resolutions, we've divested money, we've stopped military bases being created. And I think most exciting to me, we've developed, and it's growing every day, but we've developed this community of global citizens, of people who can get on these Zoom calls and speak with each other, not as representatives of national governments and militaries, but of the people of the world, working together as citizens of the world for a common goal of peace and sustainability and prosperity and the absolute end of militarism. We have still the problem that war rolls on, that in fact, when multiple wars are in the news, it makes it harder instead of easier for us to say we must abolish all wars and the whole institution of war, because people seize on a war as being a bad war, such as the one in Gaza. And it strengthens instead of weakens their belief that some other war is a good war, such as the war in Ukraine, because it's just beyond their imagining that they can oppose multiple wars at the same time or the entire institution. And so we have a great deal of work left to do, but I am very, very encouraged, and it's very, very enjoyable to keep working on it with all of you. So thank you for what you're doing. I look forward to listening to the rest of the speakers. By the way, if anyone is speaking, they are muted because I'm hearing silence.
I think we just lost Amy for a second, but Amy is back and you're co-host.
Yes, I'm back. That wasn't a technical hitch. I can't handle, but I'm okay. I'm back.
So David just finished up when you had dropped off, Amy.
Thank you so much, Zane, for helping out. You know, the bandwidth sometimes can be crazy. I had to step out of the studio for another studio because someone moved in for a live show. You must always go an extra mile, and that's why you're seeing a different decor now. Our next, thank you so much, David. It's a fabulous job you're doing. I'm so excited each time I see people do extraordinary things out of ordinary means. I'll take your questions from the chat after all the speakers must have spoken once. And next speaker, of course, is one that does us proud. In Cameroon, yay! Cameroonians in the house, I want to hear you make some noise. Yes, because the first ever president of WILPF International, CV Jacqueline Domo, founder of WILPF Cameroon, longtime human rights and peace leader with 28 years experience and strong passion for promoting equality and inclusion in Africa and the world at large, is our next speaker. And on the 24th of July 2022, Sylvie was elected WILPF's international president for a 3-year mandate. She got her distractions, but she stayed focused, and we thank God that her focus is preserved. As a teacher by profession and an AU trainer in peace support operations, she has extensive experience advocating for the political and social rights of women in Africa and worldwide. She has an impressive track record on development projects to improve policies, practices, and peace-oriented actions. You will not understand my excitement, but I've seen her struggle to make things work. I have seen her struggle to call a spade in this mission. I've seen her struggle to dot the I when everyone wanted her to cut the I. And we all know T's are cut and I's are dotted. Bonsoir, Madame le Président, et bienvenue.
Good afternoon, Madam President, and welcome. Thank you for providing me with the opportunity to moderate this session. I am very pleased to do that. So now we would like to know,
how has the journey been from founder of the Cameroon section to international president?
Thank you so much, Amy. Even though I didn't get the question, you were caught for 1 second. Yeah.
All right, I take it all over again. What is
Just the question? Yeah.
What is Women's International League for Peace and Freedom? And how has the journey been so far from national to international dimension?
Thank you so much, dear Amy. Greetings to everyone, and permit me to send you warm greeting from WILPF, the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, and also to wish World Beyond War and wish WILPF Cameroon a happy 10th anniversary. We are so grateful for all you are doing. I want to talk briefly about the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. It's one of the world's oldest feminist peace organization that was created in 1915. And the idea was we had 1,136 women from 12 nationalities that came together to say no to war, to say no to all the system of oppression, and to imagine some mediation strategy to have other solutions to war other than military solution. So the organization was created in late April 1915, and that is the reason why we are having in Cameroon this anniversary now, to make sure that it coincides with WILPF anniversary at global level, which is 28th of April. And these women who came together were really united in their opposition to war. So that's why these women, even though from different nationality, they had one objective. We say no to war, no matter what the reason. So they try to imagine alternative solutions to war. How else can solution to conflict be brought up rather than going into military solutions? So that's how the WILPF was established, and it started with the committee, an international committee for peace, was called International Committee of Permanent Peace, which later on became the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. So we work with now in more than 40 countries with sections and groups, and we also work with partners all around the world. Our vision is really a world of permanent peace based on feminist foundation of equality, non-violence, human rights. Anyway, a planet where all the human beings live in, coexist in, and flourish in harmony. That's briefly about WILPF. More than 100, we are today 109 years old. Yeah, we are celebrating at global level our 109 years anniversary. And in Cameroon, our 10th anniversary. Regarding how my journey, I'm trying to read the question, how the journey being from founder of the Cameroon section to international president. Maybe I want to say very quickly that I fell in love with WILPF 12 years back. So normally it's like 12 years back, but it took like 2 years to have a section in Cameroon. And I really was in love because I got to get in touch with WILPF when I was attending a forum in Istanbul in 2012. I was very impressed by the work when I attended their session. This organization was doing at global level to stand against militarization, to challenge the system of operation, and to build sustainable peace while interrogating the root causes of conflict. Because the country where I come from, Cameroon, was having increasing security challenge as a result of war-torn countries. Boko Haram from the Nigeria, also the influx of refugee from the Central African Republic. I thought it was very important to try and benefit from the experience of this important organization to build a movement of women in Cameroon to support the country. Take, like I always say, the umbrella before it starts to rain, because I was looking at the prevention. We were not in crisis at that time, but I was like, it's important to invest in education so that we prevent the conflict from arising. So that's the context of the birth of WILPF Cameroon. But the journey, I can say today, has been very challenging, but also very inspiring, honestly inspiring. When I look at WILPF Cameroon today, I can say I'm a proud initiator. I'm very, very proud to see how far the section has gone today. So I'm not taking into account looking at the challenge, but the results so far. WILPF Cameroon has grown in terms of number and also notoriety. Yes, we have like 4 offices in Cameroon in different cities, and every office has a goal. The headquarters is in Douala. We have the Women's Situation Room in Yaoundé, which is an early warning mechanism with a hotline number to support to give instant help to women or people who call for help. We have another office in the east of Cameroon, taking into account the refugees issue, and then the crisis response solution to the IDPs is hosted by our West office. So this is in terms of the growth, but also we have gone far to carry out some projects which I think are sustainable. One of our key projects was to support our country to have a national action plan of this very important resolution, Resolution 1325. Yeah, we know that it is the main resolution under the Women, Peace and Security agenda. So having the country have this national action plan was a very, very great milestone. We contributed to that through a baseline study, and also we are now contributing to the second national action plan after having made an assessment with other civil society organizations of the weakness of the first plan to help the government have a second one. I'm just going to talk about 2 other things. Like in Cameroon, we have set up a number of good initiatives, like a legal and judicial clinic, like a pool of youth influencers for peace. We want to have a different category of influencers. We have set up, we have carried out, a gender conflict analysis. You know that now, unfortunately, Cameroon is in crisis. So to have sustainable solution, we have to dig in and see what is the problem. So that's why we have conducted the gender conflict analysis to support the peace process in Cameroon. But I want to be very, go fast to say that because of this work that was done in country, and it's more than that, we were able to have the confidence from our sisters in the African region and the world at large. Reason why I moved from being the president of Cameroon to the Africa representative. And when I was Africa representative for 4 years, because of the COVID, we had 1 year more, I have really demonstrated, yeah, sorry? I have really demonstrated my strong commitment by supporting the creation of new sections and groups within the continent. I've consistently provided coaching and support to the new, to the other
No, it's okay,
countries to
right on.
join. Sorry, can you hear me? Is it okay?
Yes, we can hear
Can you
you.
hear me? Okay. Yeah, and I have really strengthened with my colleagues the collaboration, the regional collaboration by organizing with the support of International Secretariat and with Sweden, some regional conferences. I've used my experience. I'm a bilingual, I'm a teacher by profession and bilingual. While I was there, I also used this to support even the translation within our midst to facilitate our work. I have also brought many other dozen countries within the African section and beyond to join many campaigns like the Killer Robot campaign. I have mobilized small grants to support the section within the African so on, and many more. For all these reasons, I was selected because the membership of WILPF had confidence in me. Our work in Cameroon, our work in Africa resonated at global level. So the impact of our work is felt at global level. This is why members thought it important for me to be the international president to also help contribute, like others have done before me, to building the movement. I want to end in this by saying that everything has not been always easy. Maybe it's a nice picture to see, but because of there have been many challenges throughout. And that is the reason why we have chosen this theme for the 10th anniversary, resilience, because we had to be resilient to be where we are today. I just want to name 1, 2, or 3 challenges or difficulties obstacles that we had. One is we had many challenges, including threat on our life. That's very true. We were threatened by the peace work. Unfortunately, the peace work was able to make us have threat, including in our life. I can also talk about the shrinking of civic space, the espionage, the infiltration, the institutional violence, the threat and intimidation, the labeling, and also the fact that we are considered sometimes as working for the Western world. I'm just trying to name a few difficulties to say that, but we were able to mitigate this by remaining very, very focused and thinking of the women and the men to whom we are working for. Those who are suffering in the communities made us to think that we need and we have the responsibility to put a smile on their face. That's why we were resilient. Of course, we got some strategies within, like setting up security protocol and so on and so forth. So I want to end here to say that my experience at national level paved the way to my presence today as international president of WILPF. I want to thank you, and then I can come back later with more information if needed. Thanks.
Thank you
We
so
are
much.
been listening to Sylvain Dongmo. Thank you very much. Greta, I guess you and I are handling the session because you have to bring in the video of Tove after he speaks and introduce the work. She speaks. Oh, introduces the work she's done so far. Well, CV, I hear from a very old song in Cameroon. Nothing good comes easy. This I know, but I keep right on searching till I die. So it's a good thing that despite the challenges, you did not stop. You continued working, and that's helping many people to light their lamps wherever they are and make peace a reality. Kudos from one strong woman in Cameroon to another powerful, phenomenal, I was going to say African woman, but she's Swedish. Joining us all the way from Sweden. Permit me introduce this mighty woman, Tove Ivegard is the head of international cooperation at WILPF Sweden. She started working for WILPF Sweden 12 years ago after her peace and conflict studies at Uppsala University. Tove, you correct me where I'm wrong, please, is also a member of the Swedish Women's Mediation Network and part of Sweden's working group on women, peace, and security. She has worked together with WILPF Cameroon since the section was founded in 2014. It is such a privilege having you on this webinar. Good afternoon, Tove, and welcome. I'm sure you're going to be talking to us about the major issues you've worked on with WILPF Cameroon since the beginning and experience of successes. We're glad to have you. Welcome on board. Hello, Tove Ivegard.
Hi everyone, and thank you for having me. So sorry I'm not able to be live with you today. I first would like to just send a huge congratulations to WILPF Cameroon and all the staff and members on your 10th year anniversary. My name is Tove Ivegård and I'm the head of international cooperation at WILPF Sweden. WILPF Sweden is one of the oldest WILPF sections in the world. We were founded in 1919 and we are the only feminist peace organization in Sweden. And we have worked for more than 100 years now to integrate a feminist perspective on peace and conflict prevention in Swedish foreign policy. The first time WILPF Sweden and WILPF Cameroon's paths crossed was during a regional conference in South Africa 2014. This was also the first time that I met Sylvie, and I still remember how I thought that she was born to be a WILPFer, how passionate she was about peace building and how compassionate and caring she was about others, and also so very hardworking and determined. During the conference, WILPF Nigeria shared their experiences in the work to develop a national action plan of 1325 in Nigeria. Sylvie absorbed all of this information, traveled back to Cameroon, and a few years later, Cameroon adopted a national action plan on 1325. This was just mind-blowing, and I remember that I was so proud that I could burst when we sent in the project report to the Swedish government. What great achievements and results that could come from such a small amount of funding if it's given to the right people. And WILPF Cameroon has proved over and over again that they are the right people to support in order to see this change. So many great activities has been implemented and incredible results achieved, people engaged and touched during these 10 years. I wouldn't even know where to start if I were to list them. And I think the real experts, namely WILPF Cameroon themselves, are better suited at presenting this. But I do know that bragging about your work is not your strongest suit. WILPF Cameroon have always been very humble, which is also one of their many nice qualities. If I were to mention one thing though, except for the National Action Plan work that WILPF Cameroon has done, it would be the Women's Situation Room. This have always had a presence in one way or another in the work that we have done together. Women's Situation Room is a peace-building mechanism that empowers women to be the leading force for democratic and peaceful elections. WILPF Cameroon took this concept to another level and they broadened it and capitalized on it, which has led to a series of innovative activities. And this is what I love about your work, that nothing has an ending. You make sure that everything that you start lives on, that all the efforts, time spent on something is reused in a different way or built on. So it can continue to create change for more people and more communities. In other words, if one were to use funding terminology, it is a very efficient and cost-effective way of working, which creates sustainable and long-term development. And it wouldn't be right to end this presentation without also mentioning the vital role that WILPF Cameroon had in the regional cooperation of WILPF. I had the pleasure to support the regional coordinator of WILPF Africa for several years, and I could witness firsthand how Sylvie, who then was the regional coordinator, backed by her WILPF Cameroon team, did amazing work in strengthening WILPF sections and groups in the region. During this time, WILPF went from 4 sections to 19 sections and groups in the region, so that speaks for itself. And part of this work was also to arrange annual conferences for WILPF members in the African region, and WILPF Cameroon have always been the main coordinator in organizing these. They have wholehearted invested so much of their time and energy and expertise into the WILPF movement, which have made not only the national WILPF Cameroon section grow, but also WILPF Africa and WILPF International at the global level. As you can hear, I have had the honor to follow WILPF Cameroon's journey from the first row, and I have watched them grow over these 10 years, which have been an incredible experience for me and has taught me so much. And I think from this presentation, it might sound that WILPF Sweden has contributed a lot to WILPF Cameroon thanks to the funding provided, but this is just such a very small part of our collaboration together. Something very more notable is the expertise, experience, and knowledge that WILPF Cameroon has shared with us in Sweden over the years. Input that has strengthened our communication work and advocacy work towards decision makers over the years here in Sweden. As many of you might already know, there's a huge backlash in Sweden as the conservative right-wing government dismantles the peace movement. Sweden has joined NATO and money is being pumped into the defense sector instead of investing in peace and development aid. This have already had some very serious consequences for us at WILPF Sweden, and we still don't know how it will affect our cooperation with WILPF Cameroon. But we won't give up, and we hope that we still have many years together left. But I would also like to take this opportunity to send a message to those countries that today are more progressive than Sweden and to other larger donor organizations that you now step in and support organizations like WILPF Cameroon to see their true potential and realize what a missed opportunity it would be to not invest in WILPF Cameroon. The importance now more than ever to support their efforts for feminist peace, women and youth rights and disarmament, to prevent conflict at the local and the regional and national level. Thank you for giving me the floor, and I wish you all a continued fruitful discussion. And once again, big congratulations to a very special 10-year-old. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. It's good to know that the people out there who are so moved by the things that you do. Sylvie, are you smiling? Are you blushing? What are you doing? Which one are you doing?
Of course,
Madame
smiling.
Président, qu'est-ce qui se passe là? Parce que moi, je suis très contente. J'ai envie d'oublier même la chaise que je porte cet après-midi. Il y a des questions qui viennent du chat de toi. Est-ce que je peux prendre ces questions d'abord ou je prends la question que vous devez répondre avant de prendre les questions de chat? Qu'est-ce qui vous arrange?
Mais je pense que Nathalie devait intervenir. Je ne sais pas à quel moment elle intervient.
Elle doit intervenir après vous, parce que vous venez maintenant et juste après vous, Nathalie, Guy, ensuite on va terminer avec David. Donc, quand vous y êtes, félicitations une fois de plus. Before taking questions from the chat room for you, Sylvie, let me have this other one from you, to know from you, in what ways WILPF Cameroon has worked with partners over the years?
Yeah, of course, all the work that we have presented is the result of collective action. We could not have this result without the support of our partners at different levels, from national, regional, and international level. I just want to give 2 examples. If I take the national level, I indicated that one of our main achievements is the support, the successful advocacy to help the country have a national action plan. This could not happen if we didn't have the support from UN Women and UNOCA, which is the United Nations office in Central Africa, and of course the government through the Ministry of Women Empowerment and the Family. Together we initiated and then we supported the advocacy with other stakeholders that has really yielded fruit. So with this example only, you see that it's not the result of WILPF Cameroon, is collective action that has brought this result. And at regional level, Tove just mentioned the regional conference. It's an occasion to share experiences. Of course, we learn from WILPF Nigeria, from WILPF DRC, from other sections to build our work, and vice versa. So we have collaborated with all the sections, including other organizations. That's why in the presentation of WIL, I mentioned that we also collaborate with other sisters organizations at global level. In terms of financial partner, I'm so grateful to the support we have gotten financially through some sections or directly. We students have supported a lot with the partner like Port Courts, Folke Bernadotte Academy. We also got support from Francophonie, from Swiss Embassy in Cameroon, from UA High Commission, from, I don't even want to start naming them because I can forget some, from GIZ and from CIDA, from Ville de Genève, from UNDEF, from GENSAC, from ICANN. Anyway, just to say that we are so grateful to the support that you have received from all of it. In this webinar, we are talking, celebrating with World Beyond War. This is another partner that we are sharing experience with. So the collaboration has been very, very instrumental to bringing us where we are today. So I don't want to make any diplomatic mistake. I just want to thank all our partners, our members, our target group, because we are working because there are women out there looking up to us. So they are supporting our work because we use their experiences to fuel our advocacy. So the support has been marvelous from the media. I remember I was telling somebody today that Amy is one of the reference for us. Amy Banda, who is today facilitating this training. She's one of the journalists that has supported us greatly in Cameroon. And all this has brought us to where we are today. So I want to just say that we are stronger together. And the experience of Cameroon has really proven that we need and we should continue to be stronger together, because united if we stand alone, we fall. But when we are united, we really stand. And we have seen that within Cameroon. I want to stop here. Thank you.
And that is one proof that little actions are way too powerful than the mightiest intentions. So if you came back from Nigeria and you were thinking and wishing and wanting to do, probably you still be thinking about when to launch with Cameroon. But you came immediately, like Tove said, she was amazed and she's still surprised and she's celebrating you, and you just got on and you just started, like some people would say you had nothing, but you started. And that was a very powerful action that might have been lethal than the intentions that are as big as Mount Everest somewhere that are still in the mind or maybe our desktops. You stay with us, Sylvie, to take this question from Charlotte from Togo just before we get to Natalie. She says there were several campaigns around the world and in Africa to ban the production, purchasing, and utilization of all types of arms, including nuclear. But our government stayed always silent to this. How can the world beyond war assist with this? All right, I think that's a question for David, right? So I think we'll wait till the time David will talk. I thought it was a question coming for you. So thank you so much, Madame le Président. C'est toujours avec grand plaisir, donc vous comprenez que...
It's always my pleasure to have you, and that's why we don't want to let you go. Thank you, Mr. Michael. So we're now going to receive Madame Nathalie is connecting from Cameroon. I don't know whether you're following us from Douala or Yaoundé or in any other city to celebrate the 10th anniversary of WILPF Cameroon. So you're going to talk about the ongoing projects of WILPF Cameroon. It is a week of activities which have been launched. We are going to have a webinar next Sunday with the collaboration of World Beyond War.
Oui, merci Amy de me passer la parole.
Thank you for giving me the floor. So I would like to start by wishing a happy birthday to World Beyond War, celebrating its 10th anniversary today. And I would also like to thank World Beyond War for accepting to co-organize this event with WILPF Cameroon. It is our pleasure. We're highly delighted to have you, and we are honored to have you. So on the current project at WILPF Cameroon, we can say we have several ongoing projects as part of our work. The first project I can list is the large partnership funding, which is funded by WILPF Sweden. The project aims to provide basic support for the promotion and development of partner organizations to help them undertake their activities. The main sections concerned are the sections of Cameroon, Zimbabwe, and RDC. These are the beneficiaries. The project is very flexible and adapted to the realities within the beneficiary organization. So the outcomes of the project include the fact that it allowed us to organize two meetings to brainstorm on the challenges we've been encountering as far as organization is concerned. We were also able to recruit a legal counselor to help us with legal advice. We were also able to adopt the new articles of association of the organization on this basis, a new bureau was voted, and I am the president of this new bureau. The project further aims to strengthen the organization and the organization's governance. It also allows to share experience between the beneficiary organization. And these beneficiary organizations, as I said, are with Zimbabwe, with DRC, and with Cameroon, with the support of WILPF Sweden supporting the project. The project further allows us to expand the actions undertaken by WILPF Cameroon on the communication, in terms of communication. So another project which we are currently working on is promoting the social cohesion to prevent hate speech and political violence in Cameroon. It is funded by the United Nations Fund for Democracy. It aims to promote social cohesion to prevent hate speech on social networks and social media during the upcoming elections in our country, which will be held in 2025. Under this project, we plan to draft a guide to raise youth awareness on tolerance, and this guide will help to construct peace and it will help in peace building in Cameroon. We've organized two workshops to approve these documents, and they will be published in upcoming days. So as part of this project, young boys and girls were trained as peace influencers. On a daily basis, your mission is to come up with contents on social media and also to disseminate peace content on the political and social sphere in Cameroon. The project targets over 2,000 teachers, 40,000 pupils. The third project we're working on is involving boys and men in peace building. The objective is to involve boys and men in peace building to fight against adverse cultural practices and patriarchy, and to promote good actions undertaken by men. We therefore promote peaceful actions from men and boys to help women build peace in our country. Another project we're working on is the project which has been launched as a response to crisis. You know that Cameroon is currently struck by several crises, and many women are impacted. They are victims of gender-based violence. They are also IDP, and they suffer the consequences of this crisis. Therefore, we second the initiative to launch a project to empower IDP women and girls in the west region of Cameroon, in the Bambutos and Menua divisions. And for refugees, we've been supporting them. We've been empowering them at the eastern part of the country, especially refugees from the Central African Republic. Another item related to the crisis and to the increasing cost of living, which results in increasing gender-based violence. We've observed that women are victims of gender-based violence, which impacts their physical and mental health. We have come up with a clinic in 2019 to assist victims of gender-based violence. The clinic also aims to raise women's awareness on their rights and support gender-based violence victims, a support and also through legal support for all the cases requiring such support. Also, with our actions, we the want to strengthen agreement and collaboration with WILPF Cameroon at international, local, and regional level. We also look forward to sharing experience with other sister organizations as World Beyond War. We also look forward to building our networking to come up with synergical actions to build peace in our country and in the world. I will end here and I may get back if there are any questions. So thank you, Natalie. We are so happy to see that you have decided to build despite all the challenges and difficulties you've been facing. Thank you.
Before Greta wraps curtains for everything, we will jointly sing a happy birthday song for WILPF Cameroon and World Beyond War. Now, they've been celebrating week-long activities that the team celebrating 10 years of resilience in contribution for peace activities, like we said before, were launched last Saturday with our big sports walk for peace, and work continues in Yaoundé following different kinds of programs. Tomorrow, Thursday, there'll be a big peace conference with all the stakeholders to celebrate achievements during the last 10 years and the four bringing out the achievements. You heard a whole lot of them by Natalie a short while ago. On Friday, there'll be a solidarity visit in communities. That will be TBC. On Saturday, there will be a gala night, a WILPF WBW gala night celebrating 10 years of achievements. And next Tuesday, there'll be another webinar on the theme Fostering the WPS Agenda, Challenges and Perspectives, organized with the WILPF Peace Women Program in New York. Now time for me to welcome Guy once again. Bonsoir Guy et bienvenue.
So good afternoon, Guy, and you are the leader of World Beyond War in Africa. We would like to know what is your mandate as the organizer of World Beyond War activities in Africa?
Once again, what is your mandate in Africa as the organizer of World Beyond War? Hello, Guy. Are you there, Guy?
We'll just need to give Guy a second to unmute.
All right. Thank you very much, Greta. I'm so grateful for your exceptional collaboration. I look forward to Born and Blend with you with future work. CV, you permit me, right? Voilà. Guy, tu es revenu?
So, Guy, you're back. Yes, I'm back. So, welcome. In Cameroon and Africa, we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of World Beyond War and with Cameroon. And I am at the core of this organization because I'm a member of both organizations, and I am coordinating activities for World Beyond War in Africa. It also allows all chapters to be part of this celebration. Since the year started, we've been contributing to popularizing the Declaration of Peace to more individuals and organizations. Some even recorded some video footages, and to encourage other organizations to sign the declaration and join the movement. Our objective is to have a larger number of people standing against war to build a safe world for ourselves and for future generations. So we are mobilizing several people for this cause to end war. That's our current mandate in Africa as the organizer of World Beyond War activity. Thank you for the incredible work you are doing.
Of course, just let us know what they're doing to make war a thing of the past, like put an end to war. That's exactly what his mandate consists of. And we're going to wrap up the session with the man, WBW. World Beyond War. That's David. From your experience, how can we end wars and make the world a safer place? You're going to have some questions from the chat room, but let's start with that first.
Well, I guess I would say that we believe you do this through education and activism, interlocked and exchanging with each other, as well as through communications, also known as media. That is, we increase people's understanding of the need and the possibility and the ability to eliminate all war. And we take actions that move us step by step in that direction. So we educate people on how bizarre and rare and insane militarism is, how most of the existence of the human species has lived without it, how most people, individuals, do everything they can to live without it and succeed at living without it, how most people who participate in it suffer terribly. So how unnatural, if the term natural means anything, how unnatural war is, and how every instance of war could have been avoided through specific, easy, concrete steps. And we put in place structures that make it easier, treaties, unarmed civilian resistance and defense plans and teams, disarmament step by step, moving people toward the ability to envision a world without war. And I think this includes educating people on how working for peace within a community or within a country and working for peace between that country and the rest of the world help each other, work together, build on and support each other. Right now, I think we can imagine, because the activism is so strong, it's still not winning, but it's on the edge of winning. The activism is so strong against the war on Gaza. We can imagine that if all the wars were like the war on Gaza, we could do it. We could win. But we are just miles and miles away from imagining that we could do it if people understood wars the way they understand the war in Ukraine, the way at least millions and millions of people do. And yet the basic facts about why the war on Ukraine is stupid and disastrous and evil are so clear. So it comes down to communication, to being able to communicate to people something that is radically opposed to what televisions and newspapers and websites are communicating to them. That's our biggest challenge. In terms of the comment in the chat that campaigns to stop buying weapons, including nuclear weapons, all fail and so forth, if I've understood it correctly, I would say, well, you know, for those who need successes, look at all the successes. The Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons is gaining ratification in country after country around the world and having an impact on the production and distribution of nuclear weapons. The treaties on cluster munitions and chemical and biological weapons and landmines have had an enormous effect. There are violators, there is corruption, there are abstainers from these treaties. That means we need to get everybody on board with them and make them comply and prosecute and hold to account those who violate them, and look to the model of countries like Costa Rica and Iceland and others who have said absolutely no to buying any weapons, and look to the model of the nation of Niger that has said to the US bases, get out of our country, go occupy your own country, and tell the nation of Niger, don't bring in bases from someplace else. Don't build your own bases. Live much more healthy and prosperous and fulfilling and sustainable and joyous and peaceful lives without any military bases.
Thank you so much for the incredible work you're doing to make all of this a reality. We cannot say thank you enough. Well, can we all just sing a happy birthday song for WBW and WILPF? Can we just do that? Few seconds, can we? Who's shy here, Madame Dogmo? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to WILPF and WBW. Keep building solid blocks of peace. And I pray that the global denizens all over will connect with your vision, bond with your mission, and carry out your roles and responsibilities to make the world a safer place for all of us. Greta, if there is any question in the chat you think I have not read out, please, my dear friend, can we bring it forward? I know that David should be taking a question now, right?
Well, we have two more questions that have come in, which I think any of our speakers are welcome to address, whoever feels compelled to address them. So the first question was, who is sponsoring weapons to the African communities like in Sudan, Nigeria, and Congo presently? The only way to silence guns in Africa is to ban the importation of weapons. Fortunately, Africa doesn't manufacture weapons, so who is sending these weapons? Does anyone want to take that question?
Well, I'm happy to. I'm happy for someone else to, if they want.
But that question looks like you anyway.
Well, I would recommend taking a look, and hopefully in a week or two, we will have an annual update, but I would recommend taking a look at Mapping Militarism, which is a series of maps and lists on the World Beyond War website. And I'll put the link right now into the chat. But the short answer to almost any question related to who's doing it in the world of war and militarism is the United States government. And this question is no exception. The top exporter of weapons to anywhere on Earth, including Africa, is the United States, with the approval of the United States government. Most of those weapons, in most cases, are paid for by the local governments. They are buying weapons from US companies. But in many cases, they are paid for by the US government. Weapons are being given to governments. And with those weapons comes training, including training of at least a dozen officials who have just in the past couple of years led coups that the US government didn't want. in Africa. If the US government wants them, it doesn't call them coups. And so it's absolutely out of control, but there are free weapons, free training, and then US troops and advisors to maintain and update and supervise and retrain. And this is a big part of how all these US bases get in, is through the weapon sales, and then they facilitate more weapon sales. It is a very good and enormous and profitable business. And it's a serious problem that, with the exception of Ukraine, which is weird in many, many ways, almost every place that has wars is separate from almost every place that makes weapons. They're two different worlds. The weapons are being made in one place and sent somewhere else to do their evil deeds. And so we really have to go after it from both ends, from the places where the weapons are killing and from the places where the weapons are being manufactured.
You're talking, and I'm imagining if we could get to a phase where, after education, like you made mention a moment ago, we could see a world without persons manufacturing weapons. Because I was just imagining space, the planet, without persons making business behind war. You know, picture themselves like human beings and truly choose to do unto other persons what they expect the other people to do to them. I'm trying to understand, and it's hurting. Well, it's hurting, and we just have to keep working, and we keep trusting God and forces like you at your end, that one day the work will sink into your minds, it will sink into your souls, it will sink into your hearts, and they'll think less of the profit they're making and think human. It's horrible to think that people choose to make business and destroy lives like that, like seriously. Greta, do we have another question in the chat room?
Yes, there is another question here, which is somewhat related to what you were getting at, David, in terms of the profitability of the weapons industry, and how that sort of perpetuates the vicious cycle of war. But this question is, what is the source of all of these series of wars? Is it in people's minds? Is it in their offices? I assume that means, is it in, is it stemming from political offices? Is there any plan that World Beyond War, and I'll also say that WILPF, has established to bring a positive mindset shift to political authorities across the world? And Sylvie, I see you unmuted. Would you like to take that question?
Yes, I just wanted to contribute by saying that this is war economy, and that's why at the level of WILPF, one of the things we do is to challenge the different system of operation, and this is one of these systems. So the war economy is very, very clear, and within WILPF, we are trying to do exactly what David mentioned in terms of education, advocacy, and making sure that we change the mindset. So I think that we are seeing the Women, Peace and Security agenda globally should be understood differently in the context of disarmament, because we are right there. It's about the armament, the weapons. So we should really think into this agenda, into how do we disarm the people, the weapon, how the countries and so on, but also the mindset. We are hoping and dreaming and that our efforts reach the point that we will see countries, instead of fighting to be the first, the best in weapon trade, we want to see the country would try also to be the best champions of peace. Why do we have the champions in weapon militarism and so on, and we don't have champions? We want to see people excel in championing for the peace agenda, and that entails working hard, including investing in the youth. so that we try with our different advocacy, with the alliances that we are building. That's why I'm so happy we are having with this webinar, because this is already one connection out of many. The more connection we have, the more push we have to question the origin of weapon, and also to make people understand, be accountable, because it's be accountable. And at the end of the day, we need to hold the countries selling this weapon accountable. So that's why I'm happy, for example, like in the country like Sweden, they are challenging their government, telling that in a way they are fueling the crisis in Africa. Just to say that David has said it in terms of action, education, advocacy, but building stronger alliance to push for the stop or the reduce of this militarization, but most importantly, to get the countries to fight to be the best into peace building, the best countries promoting peace rather than the best in weapon sales. So this is one of the contributions that I wanted to make after David. Thanks.
Amy, I think you're muted if you're trying to say something. Oh, Amy, you're muted.
Am I on now?
Yes.
Some of those realities, I had to step out now of the studio because the spa shutting. You don't get to see that where you are, right? But it's dark, and I couldn't be talking to you from a dark corner. So I moved into the newsroom where I'm relating to you now from. Do we have another question from the chat room?
I think we've answered all the questions that I saw come in the chat. I see Natalie has a hand up, and I know that we're almost at the end of the time that we've allotted for this event. So Natalie, why don't you go ahead? And I know that you also wanted to share sort of some next steps and activities. Natalie, the floor is yours.
Oui, merci de me donner la parole.
For giving me the floor.
Merci Greta de me donner la parole.
Thank you, Greta, for this. I would like to add that for a better world, for a peaceful world, we must fight against the oppression and oppression systems like colonialism and capitalism, as well as all these other systems which lead to the wars in our world. We must work together to find strategies to combat these systems which are the real causes of war in the world. All these others. So I would like to end by mentioning what we need to do, what is left as actions relating to our week of celebration. Amy mentioned we have organized a sports event in Douala last week, and it was quite a success. We also went to visit patients in a hospital in Douala. We also communicated the press, and we give thanks to God because He is the Master, and He gives us strength to do whatever we are able to do. We have also we officially launched so we've launched activities in the western region of the country, and we visited refugees in Betua. We had a talk with the refugees, and we visited their camp because we often support them. And we visited their farms, which we've been supporting, to help them empower them in providing for their families. Webinar is a success, and I very happy for this initiative between with Cameroon and WorldBeyondWar, which allowed us to share experience and also try to brainstorm on the future areas of collaboration between our organizations. We also have a conference tomorrow, a conference on peace, which will be organized by WILPF Cameroon. Several stakeholders will attend this conference, um, embassies, civil society organizations, students. A group of students will be part of the event. We are going to discuss with them and we will hear from them. It is very important to involve the youth in all that we are doing, all what we're doing. We are also going to have several other stakeholders, members of vulnerable populations, internally displaced people and refugees. They will also be part of the conference. We've also launched an arts context for peace in schools in Cameroon, and we have youth participating in this contest, and we are going to publish the results, and the winners will be awarded during the gala party. And we have several opportunities we are going to benefit from as part of our activities. We have another webinar on the 30th of March. The webinar will be organized by Peace Women to celebrate the 109th anniversary of WILPF Cameroon in the world. This organization is working in the Peace and Security Department of WILPF. So on the 27th, we are also going to have a gala party. We will be celebrating with our partners and all the people we collaborate with. It will be an opportunity for us to celebrate and also acknowledge all those who have been providing us some help of any kind so far. So I'm going to stop here. At what we are going to do as part of the celebration of the 10th anniversary of WILPF Cameroon, I am now inviting all members of World Beyond War and other members of WILPF Cameroon present here, even if you can't uh, be here with us in person, you can share all the activities we are working on, and you may share some information on our work via your Facebook and other social media pages. We can communicate on our actions so that we reach the people who are very concerned with peace building in the world and within our community. So once more, I would like to wish a happy anniversary to World Beyond War and all members of WILPF Cameroon. Thank you for your attention.
Vous avez fait pour célébrer la 10e
Very
anniversaire.
great to hear all that you have been doing to celebrate the 10th anniversary of WILPF Cameroon. So now we are going to give the floor to Key, who is going to talk about the events and action World Beyond War Africa has been undertaken.
Why you've been supportive with your program. So Guy, you can come quickly and run with that so we can wrap up this edition of the webinar.
Merci, merci, Amy, pour aller
Thank
rapidement.
you, Amy. To be brief, I will say that we are working at the level of Africa. We are currently launching a campaign which is remove your troops from Djibouti. After closing the campaign for Senegal, we are inviting all Africans to sign the petition and support this campaign, which can be accessed online to The objective is to call all 8 countries with military troops in Djibouti to withdraw troops from Djibouti. The link is in the chat and you can have more information on this campaign. Last year, we've decided to organize an African conference. We held the first conference in November last year, and this year we are going to have a new edition. We are going to provide you with further details that are related. We have over 100 people already registered for this webinar, and we are going to send you an email to provide you with further details on the webinar when the details are ready. But we would like to invite you to join us on 22 and 23 of June to work for peace. We are going to say no to militarism and yes to peace through a 24-hour activity. We are going to go on the field to work for peace building in Africa. If you have any contribution, you can write to us at WorldBeyondWar.org so you can contribute and participate in the fight against militarization. We therefore invite you to keep up signing our declaration of peace. You can do so as an individual or as an organization. So after this webinar, you're going to receive an email which will include all these links so that you can sign them and join the movement after visiting our web page. On this web page, you're going to have a better presentation on the chapters, the current chapters of World Beyond War. And if you want to come up with a new chapter, you can contact us and we are going to include you in this broader movement of World Beyond War, which needs greater support in Africa to live up to expectations within the region. Thank you very much, Guy, for this event and actions you are undertaking to make sure World Beyond War follows up with its objectives. Thank you to all the participants. Asazota is joining us from Bafoussam. We have Ahmed Dungo.
With Cameroon, Pushpa Motiani, Namaste, Donald Ngepi, Joseph Wilson, Tefu Evelina, Aimiti et bien sûr Massoma, Laurent, David qui était aussi très bon, c'est ça le concept parce que ces paroles étaient tellement la nourriture pour les âmes. Merci à Madame la Présidente.
So thank you, Madam President, for this initiative, for what you shared with us.
For the last 90 minutes, I will, through Target Peace, say you can go back home, retaining what you must retain to make peace a reality and make our world a safer place to be. Where David said, we need to work together, we need to build together, we need to grow together in peace building, education, media work, and there is need for possibility to end war. And it starts with us, the many things we have to do from our homes, from our places of work, the churches, and so on and so forth. So we can get to a place where these arms are not even produced in the first place, and we can have a beautiful place to live in. Yes, Nathalie, vous avez parlé de la possibilité de...
So Natalie, you mentioned the possibility to fight the mechanisms of oppression, and Charlotte mentioned the need to fight imperialism. She was writing from Togo. When we see the case of Gaddafi, for example, we wonder if we need to take actions because he didn't end up very well.
We are WILPF, we are WBW, we are 10, we promote peace, so join us and build a conflict and a war-free world. Thank you so much to you all. Thank you very much, Greta. I leave it to you as you're going to handle the remaining minutes. It was a pleasure sharing this moment with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all of our speakers and all of our participants. And thank you to you, Amy, for moderating this event. We will send an email out afterwards with the recording and with all of the links that we shared. So thanks everyone again for joining us, and have a good rest of your morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you're located in the world. Bye-bye.